My name is Allie Tharpe. I've been involved with Festival Beach Food Forest since 2016. Festival Beach Food Forest is an edible and medicinal forest garden on public parkland in Austin, Texas. Right now we're 2/3 of an acre, and over the next few years we're expanding to be just shy of 3 acres. A community group of mostly volunteers takes care of the land and all of these plants, and we offer this to the community as a free public resource and a commons where people can come to harvest and also just to enjoy the peace and the scenery and the biodiversity. We need a strong, engaged volunteer base because it is a community project, so it's really important that we find ways to effectively empower volunteers and the community around us to have collective ownership of the project. We have open public volunteer days weekly to help the community get involved in stewarding the land. Usually we have a system where there's a group leader who's more knowledgeable and experienced. We have a very strong team that's just volunteers who are consistently coming every single week, and then we plug in anyone at any level of experience to come and be in a small group that has a more knowledgeable group leader. We have 2 really big volunteer days a year, a citywide program called It's My Park Day. So those days we usually have up to like 100 volunteers in this little space. So having those pods of group leaders that we skill up and train up to help direct and support people is really important. We're kind of using a model called Sociocracy, or dynamic governance, that's empowering teams. There's a plant team that takes care of the land, and then the people team that focuses on the volunteer management, community engagement, anything related to how people interact with the land. And then we have our Prosper team, and so that's the financial considerations. And then we have our Purpose team, so that's kind of like the mission board work. Pretty much every team shows up for the purpose, mission conversations, and we report in from each team. How do we educate people? We use a lot of different strategies. Number 1, top of the list, is the monthly plant tours. So we do plant walks, plant education walks every single month. We encourage harvesting at those events, and we do like medicinal demos, tea tastings, things like that, usually paired with the tours. So that's one of the primary ways that we're educating and connecting the community with the plants themselves. And then we do have a lot of signage as well. We've got some great signage that's kind of the broad overview of things, and then we've worked with student groups and things like that to help with like geolocation of all the trees on some of those apps. So we're using like available kind of crowdsourcing technology that exists out there to map what's in the food forest. And then we've also played around with like QR codes and things like that that are easy to make and easy to update. One of my favorite times is when we have community celebrations in the food forest. Those are always incredibly fun, and usually we do what we're starting to call community harvest festivals. The intention of these is really bringing the community knowledge and wisdom and energy together. There's some really great street bands in Austin that will come. That's been just so energizing and beautiful to have people dancing through the park together, and also doing feasts, potlucks, celebrations, and connecting that with some of the education, the demos, and collectively harvesting. The music is a huge piece of it. The food always is a big piece of it. And the seeds, like doing seed exchange and things like that. At our events, we always make sure that we have water, that we have snacks for people who might need a blood sugar adjustment or things like that, as well as like a first aid kit is on site. So in addition to all the ecological benefits of the food forest, there's enormous social and economic benefits to the community that evolve from having a space like this. Just making sure that local organic food is completely available for free to the public is a very innovative and simple thing that cities can be doing in order to just cultivate health. It's not enough to provide all the food that a family might need, but it can provide basic culinary herbs, really good medicinal things that are preventative health measures. And in a city, you know, there's so many concrete, fast-moving industrial landscapes, but to have a real peaceful, more wild and natural landscape where people can just come and enjoy, you know, the migration of butterflies and birds or the sunshine and the breeze, it just really provides a basic human need. An urban food forest does provide that little piece of nature in the middle of, you know, a concrete jungle, as they say sometimes.